Welcome one and all, your host Steve here with another film review, this one being Expendables 4. There will be spoilers in this review, so if you have not seen the film, steer clear until after you watch it. Expendables 4 is directed by Scott Waugh. It is rated R with a runtime of 1 hour and 43 minutes. Armed with every weapon they can get their hands on, the Expendables are the world's last line of defense and the team that gets called when all other options are off the table. I'm going to cut right to the chase, guys. This movie's not good. In fact, it's the worst film I've seen this year. And let's just get down to the details as to why that is. The pacing of this movie was very sluggish, and honestly, I was incredibly bored with the exception of the final fight between Statham and Iko Uwais' antagonist, Ramat. But that's not saying much. It's odd to say that I found the action in this installment to be very boring because action in itself is never really boring, but this is a good example of that. Also, we have some fresh faces added to the Expendables crew, and I could not care less about them. We do have some of the OG crew like Stallone, who's in the film for all of 10 minutes, Statham, Couture, and Lundgren. 50 Cent stars as well, and just like the new and young faces that appear here, he felt oddly out of place. Statham, I will give credit where it is due, as he is really the only one playing in this film with any kind of enthusiasm. Tony Jaa from The Raid shows up midway through the film, and though it was cool to see him, it wasn't enough to save this train wreck, unfortunately. Megan Fox basically becomes the leader of the crew after Stallone's Barney is seemingly killed early into the film. It did not feel earned in any way, and she's, no surprise, quite bad in this. The special effects as well are just as bad, if not worse. The amount of green screen used is jarring and incredibly noticeable. It took me out of some of the action scenes because of it. This film is also edited weirdly, especially in the opening half hour. For example, the film opens with Uwais' character taking over a base in Libya for nuclear warheads to give to his mysterious boss named Ocelot, who is a mystery in this film. We don't know his identity. We'll get to that though. While all of this is going on, we cut to Barney asking his partner Lloyd in New Orleans to help him get his ring he lost in a bet. They get into a fight there, yada yada, and then it cuts to them getting briefed on the mission by their boss Marsh, played by Andy Garcia, who is just phoning it in beautifully of securing these warheads. They get on a plane to go to Libya to stop the warheads from being taken. Meanwhile, we cut back to Ramat, who is still in the process of stealing the warheads from the base. That means that Barney and the crew did all this stuff and still managed to fly to Libya in record time while this raid was going on. It made zero sense the way that this was edited, and it just made me almost walk out, honestly. And the big twist in this story, and truthfully it wasn't a twist at all, was that Ramat's boss, better known as Ocelot, is none other than Garcia's CIA agent Marsh. And this twist happens at the climax to kind of give that dramatic feeling of betrayal, but it's been done too many times before. I didn't care for it and honestly just wanted the movie to be over at that point. Then Barney comes flying in to save the day, who faked his death to figure out the identity of who Ocelot was. But the damage was already done. All in all, this movie's awful, and I recommend that if you haven't seen it yet, you're better off seeing the Paw Patrol movie, because at least that movie has a soul. I'm giving Expendables 4 a score of 0 out of 5. Now that we got that mess out of the way, be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this video, guys, and subscribe to my channel where I talk about games and review movies. Until next time, folks, keep it classy and keep it geeky.